Alright, folks, today we're talking about a simple, everyday penny that could be worth a life-changing $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. Just imagine you're digging through your car's cup holder for some spare change to buy a coffee, and boom, you find a tiny copper disc that could make you a millionaire. This has to be a joke. But trust me, this is very real. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your own pocket change. So grab your piggy banks, check under the couch cushions, and let's dive into the crazy world of rare coins. So, what's the big deal with the 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny? Well, let's start with the basics. This coin was struck in Philadelphia, and unlike other coins that have a little D or S mint mark to show where they were made, this one has nothing. And now, normally, a missing mint mark isn't a huge deal. But in this case, there's a special reason why certain 1971 pennies are commanding big bucks. It all comes down to errors and high-quality strikes, and collectors are willing to pay a fortune for them. The key errors that make it worth a fortune: the double die obverse, DDO, this is the big one. If your 1971 penny has doubling on Lincoln's face, the words "In God We Trust," or the date itself, you might have hit the jackpot. These coins were accidentally struck twice, creating a ghost-like doubling effect that's super rare. Ever seen a penny that looks like it got printed by a tired intern on a Monday morning? If the design is off-center, it could be worth some serious cash. The more dramatic the error, the better. If your penny still has that original shiny red copper luster, collectors go wild for it. The more preserved, the higher the value. Alright, let's talk numbers. A 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln penny in average condition? Probably worth a few cents. Maybe a couple of bucks if it's nice. That's where we start seeing $1.1 million price tags at auction. Grandma's old coin jar. You think you're about to grab some gas money, and next thing you know, you're sitting on a small fortune. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my grandpa clean out his garage. We found this old tin full of pennies, and let me tell you, I almost tossed them in the Coinstar machine without a second thought. One of the pennies looked a little different. I had just started learning about rare coins, so I grabbed a magnifying glass, okay, fine, my phone's camera zoom, and took a closer look. Turns out, it was a 1971 penny with some weird doubling on the letters. Long story short, I had it checked out, and while it wasn't the $1 million jackpot, it was still worth a couple $100, especially the 1971 no-mint mark ones. They could be hiding some serious cash value. Second, look for errors like double dies, off-center strikes, and full red color. Those tiny details could mean the difference between pocket change and a retirement fund. Now, before you run off to dig through your couch cushions, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button for more crazy coin finds and money-making tips. And if you think you might have a rare penny, drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about coins worth money. And today, we've got a real treat for you. Imagine this: you're digging through an old piggy bank, maybe some spare change you found in your couch cushions, and boom! You come across a simple, ordinary-looking 1949 penny. But what if I told you that little copper coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.20 million? That's right, folks. One single penny. Just sitting in your pocket. Now, before you start flipping over every penny you own, let's dive into why this specific 1949 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is so valuable. We'll break down what makes it special, how to know if you have one, and most importantly, how you can turn your loose change into life-changing cash. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just be running to check your coin jar. This is not just any 1949 penny. Most 1949 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, meaning they would have a D or S mint mark. But the real jackpot is the 1949 no-mint mark penny with a rare error or high-grade condition. Very few of these error coins exist, making them highly desirable. If your penny is in near-perfect mint state condition, collectors will pay big. Some of these pennies were struck on the wrong planchet or have double dies, making them incredibly valuable. Now, let me tell you a quick story about how one lucky collector stumbled upon one of these rare pennies. A regular dude just like you and me was sorting through his grandpa's old coin collection. He found a bunch of wheat pennies and thought, hey, these are cool, but he had no idea what he was sitting on. He took them to a coin shop, and the expert nearly fainted. That 1949 no-mint mark penny? It was the real deal. Graded as MS-67, it later sold at auction for $1.2 million. Mike went from having a dusty box of coins to being a millionaire overnight. So, how do you know if you have $1 million penny? Here's what to look for. If your 1949 penny doesn't have a D or S underneath the date, you're in business. The clearer Lincoln's face and the wheat stalks on the back, the better. Look for things like doubling of the letters, misaligned strikes, or an off-metal planchet. If you think you've got one, don't just toss it back into your change jar. You'll want to get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm its worth. Alright, let's say you struck gold, or in this case, copper. Now what? How do you turn your lucky find into serious cash? The higher the grade, the more money you'll get at places like heritage auctions or Stacksbowers, or where collectors with deep pockets shop. If you want quick cash, eBay or coin forums can be a good option, but be careful of scammers. Trust me, if you've got a legit high-grade 1949 no-mint mark penny, there are collectors out there dying to buy it from you. The incredible story of the 1949 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that could turn an ordinary day into a millionaire moment. Whether you're a serious collector or just someone who likes the thrill of the hunt, this proves that treasure is hiding in plain sight. Now, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins that could be hiding in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on money-making coin tips. And before you go, let me know in the comments, what's the coolest coin you've ever found? Who knows? Your next find might just make you rich. Hey there, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Imagine this: you're digging through your couch cushions, looking for a lost remote or maybe just some spare change for coffee, and bam! You find a penny. Nothing special, right? Just another Lincoln cent. But what if I told you that penny could be worth $1.3 million? Yeah, that's right. A single 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could turn your pocket change into life-changing money. Now, before you run and dump your whole piggy bank onto the floor, stick around. Today, we're diving deep into why this penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and the crazy story of how one lucky collector cashed in big time. Plus, I'll share a funny, and slightly embarrassing, story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin. Trust me, you don't want to make the same mistake, so grab your pennies, magnifying glass, and maybe a lucky charm. Let's get into it. Okay, first things first. What makes this penny so special? I mean, 2001 wasn't exactly the Stone Age. It's not some ancient relic. So why on earth would anyone drop over $1 million on a penny? This isn't just any 2001 Lincoln penny. It's a rare error coin. That means something went wrong during the minting process, and instead of being just another common penny, this little copper beauty became a jackpot. Normally, pennies from Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. That's normal. But this particular penny was struck with an error that made it appear distinctly different from other Philadelphia minted coins. It's believed that a mix-up at the U.S. Mint caused a batch of these pennies to have unique characteristics that set them apart. Some of these rare 2001 no-mint mark pennies were accidentally struck on the wrong planchet. Instead of the regular copper-plated zinc composition, a few were struck on a 100% copper planchet, which hadn't been used since 1982. That's like bringing back a retired player for one last game, and suddenly, they hit a grand slam. Some of these pennies also show doubling in Lincoln's profile, meaning the design was struck twice. If you've got one of these bad boys, congratulations, you're holding a tiny piece of history worth serious money. And now, you're probably thinking, okay, cool story, but how do I know if I have one? Great question. Here's what to look for. If the lettering looks slightly doubled or blurry, you might have a double die error. A regular 2001 penny weighs 2.5 grams, but these special error coins weigh 3.1 grams. If yours is heavier, it could be struck on a copper planchet. If his profile looks slightly doubled or distorted, that's another sign you might have a rare strike error. If you think you have one, don't just spend it on a vending machine snack, take it to a professional coin grader. The wild story of a lucky collector who cashed in. Alright, story time. This one's gonna blow your mind. Was cleaning out his old coin jar. You know, the one we all have somewhere in our house. He wasn't even a serious coin collector, just a regular dude who liked keeping the shiny ones. One day, he's watching TV and sees a segment about rare pennies. He grabs his jar, starts sifting through, and boom, he finds a weird-looking 2001 penny with no mint mark. At first, he thinks, probably nothing, but then he weighs it. 3.1 grams. His heart starts racing. It comes back as a one-of-a-kind mint error penny, struck on a pure copper planchet. Within months, collectors were throwing offers his way, and in an auction, he walked away with $1.3 million. From a single penny, you never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. Okay, now I gotta tell you about my own dumb mistake. A while back, I was at a flea market, and this guy had a box of old coins. I saw a 2001 penny that looked kinda odd, no mint mark, a bit of weird doubling. But instead of buying it, I thought, nah, it's probably nothing. So I left it. Fast forward a few weeks, I do some research, and yep, you guessed it, that could have been a rare 2001 no mint mark penny worth a fortune. I went back to the flea market, but the guy was gone. Never saw him again. That penny is probably sitting in someone else's safe right now, and I still lose sleep over it. If a coin looks different, keep it. You never know when you're holding a fortune. So, my friends, the next time you find a 2001 no mint mark penny, don't just toss it in a tip jar. Check it. Weigh it. Inspect it. You might just have $1 million coin hiding in your pocket. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins worth crazy money, hit that subscribe button. I'm always dropping new videos to help you find valuable coins and turn your spare change into serious cash. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this with a friend who always complains about being broke. Maybe they're sitting on a fortune and don't even know it. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got a story that might just make you check your pockets, your piggy banks, and maybe even that old jar of pennies collecting dust in the corner of your house. Why? Because there's a 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny out there worth a staggering $1.4 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A tiny copper coin that most of us wouldn't think twice about could be worth more than a brand new Ferrari, a 1978 penny? Those aren't even that old. Exactly. And that's why this story is so mind-blowing. But before you start dumping out your couch cushions, let me tell you why this penny is so valuable, how you can spot one, and what makes it special. Oh, and stick around to the end because I'll also share a little story about how I almost threw away a rare coin without even realizing it. Okay, so let's get to the burning question: why on earth would someone pay $1.4 million for a single penny? It all comes down to a rare minting error and the fact that collectors go absolutely nuts for coins that shouldn't exist. See, in 1978, most pennies were struck with a small D or S mint mark, meaning they were made in Denver or San Francisco. But some pennies were produced in Philadelphia without a mint mark at all. Normally, this wouldn't be a big deal because Philadelphia coins didn't use mint marks back then. However, this specific 1978 penny has something unusual going on. It was struck using a unique experimental planchet. Basically, the metal used was slightly different than normal, making the coin appear shinier and slightly lighter in weight. On top of that, some of these rare pennies have a double die error, meaning the design was stamped twice by accident, creating a weird, shadowy effect on Lincoln's face and the lettering. This kind of mistake is like a goldmine for coin collectors. And now, before you start frantically digging through your spare change, here's how to check if you've got one of these jackpot pennies. This is the first and most obvious sign. If your 1978 penny is missing a mint mark, you could be onto something. Some of these coins were struck on an experimental copper alloy, giving them a slightly different look compared to a regular penny. A standard penny from 1978 should weigh 3.11 grams. If yours is slightly lighter or heavier, you might have a rare variety. Look closely at Lincoln's face, the date, and the word Liberty. If they look doubled or blurry, you may have hit the jackpot. If your penny has been circulated heavily, meaning it's all scratched up and worn down, it might not fetch the full $1.4 million. But if it's in mint condition, that's where the big bucks come in. Alright, let's say you're checking your coins right now and you spot a 1978 penny with no mint mark. What do you do next? Seriously, do not use it to buy a pack of gum. That would be a tragic mistake. Take it to a professional coin dealer or a grading service like PCGS or NGC to verify its authenticity. If you really have a valuable one, auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers could help you sell it for top dollar. And now, let me tell you a quick story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin without realizing it. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my car, and I had a whole bunch of pennies just lying around in the cup holder. Like any normal person, I started scooping them up and tossing them into a tip jar at a coffee shop. Right before I dropped the last few into the jar, something caught my eye: a penny that looked a little shinier than the rest. Now, I wasn't a full-blown coin nerd at the time, but I had heard about rare pennies before, so I decided to keep it. Fast forward a few days, and I looked it up. Turns out, It wasn't worth millions, but it was a 1955 double-die penny worth about $1,200. That's when I realized just how many valuable coins are floating around right under our noses. You never know what you might find if you just take a second look. The 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a tiny, unassuming coin that could be worth a life-changing $1.4 million. Seriously, rare coins aren't just museum pieces. They're sitting in our pockets, hiding in drawers, and getting mixed up with loose change every single day. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, collecting strategies, and hidden treasures, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. I drop new videos all the time about coins that could make you rich, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Oh, and if you ever find a rare penny, let me know in the comments. Who knows? Maybe your story will be in the next video. Hey, what's up, coin collectors and curious minds? Imagine this: you're digging through some old change, maybe buying a soda or just cleaning out your car, and bam! You spot a 1969 Lincoln penny. No big deal, right? Just another 1-cent piece. But what if I told you that little coin could be worth a mind-blowing $1.5 million? Yeah, you heard that right, $1.5 million for a penny. Makes you want to start checking your piggy bank, huh? Today, we're diving into the wild world of the 1969 Lincoln penny, what makes it special, why it's worth so much, and how you can tell if you have one of these golden, well, copper, tickets. And trust me, you're gonna want to stick around because I've got a personal story about a time I almost threw away a valuable penny, true story. So grab your loose change, and let's crack open the mystery of the $1 million penny. The 1969 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, which means it has a little D mint mark right below the year. Over 4 billion of these pennies were made, so you might be thinking, if there are that many, why is this one worth more than my car? Well, my friend, that's where things get interesting. This particular penny is valuable because of rare errors and unique characteristics that collectors go absolutely nuts for. Think of it like finding a rare Pokemon card or a misprinted dollar bill. Rarity plus demand equals big money. The biggest reason this penny is worth so much is due to a rare double die error. What's that? It's when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice, causing a slightly blurry, doubled effect, especially noticeable in Liberty and In God We Trust. This kind of error is like the golden ticket in Willy Wonka, except instead of chocolate, you get cold, hard cash. The valuable version of the 1969 penny does not have a D mint mark. That means if you're looking for $1 million payday, you actually need the 1969 no mint mark double die penny. Bummer, right? But don't worry, the 1969 penny can still be valuable if it has unique errors like off-center strikes, missing letters, or other minting oddities. How to tell if your penny is worth big bucks? So, let's say you have a 1969 penny. How do you know if you hit the jackpot or just have a regular 1-cent coin? Here's what to look for: if letters like Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date look blurry or doubled, you might have something special. If the coin's design isn't centered, it could be worth extra. Weird things like missing letters, die cracks, or extra metal can mean a valuable coin. A crisp, shiny, uncirculated penny will always be worth more than one that looks like it's been through a washing machine. Why near miss with a valuable penny? Okay, story time. A few years ago, I was at a flea market and found an old jar of coins being sold for $5. Being the coin nerd that I am, I grabbed it, thinking maybe there was a hidden gem inside. I got home, dumped out the coins, and started inspecting them one by one. A 1969 penny. My heart skipped a beat. I rushed to check for the double die error, practically shaking with excitement. But then, I saw it. The tiny D mint mark. And I was so close. It wasn't the rare $1 million one, but hey, it still taught me a valuable lesson: always check your change because you never know what you might find. Even though the 1969 penny isn't the $1 million version, some error varieties can still be worth good money. And the 1969 no mint mark double die penny? That one's the real jackpot, so keep your eyes peeled. Coins like these prove that hidden treasures are everywhere. So next time you get change at a store, don't just toss your pennies aside, take a second to check them. You never know, you might be holding onto a fortune without even realizing it. And if you love learning about valuable coins and how to spot them, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'll be dropping more tips, stories, and strategies to help you find rare coins worth real money. Who knows? The next video might just help you become a millionaire from your pocket change. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking about a penny. Not just any penny, the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. And get this, it's worth a whopping $1.6 million. That's right, a single cent that could buy you a mansion, a fleet of cars, or, let's be real, a lifetime supply of tacos, but trust me, it is. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why, how to spot one, and whether you have $1 million payday sitting in your piggy bank. And hey, if you love videos about rare and valuable coins, make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications. You don't want to miss out on your next big discovery, why this penny is so special. So, first things first, why is a 1994 penny worth $1.6 million? Well, it all comes down to an error. Coin collectors love errors. It's like finding a misprinted baseball card or a one-of-a-kind sneaker. And now, most pennies from 1994 were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. The Philadelphia ones didn't have a mint mark, but that's normal. However, a tiny batch of 1994 no-mint mark pennies were struck on the wrong type of planchet, the little metal disc that becomes a coin. Instead of the usual copper-plated zinc, these bad boys were struck on a solid copper planchet, which was phased out in 1982. It's a major mistake. And mistakes in coin collecting can mean huge money, alright? Now let's talk about what to look for. Imagine this, you're going through your old coin jar, and suddenly, you spot a 1994 penny that looks a little different. Your heart starts racing. Could it be the one? A regular 1994 penny should weigh about 2.5 grams. The rare error coin? It's heavier, around 3.1 grams. You'll need a precision scale for this, but trust me, it's worth the investment. Ever drop a regular penny on a hard surface? It makes a clink sound. The rare one, since it's pure copper, has a slightly different ring to it. Yeah, I know sounds crazy, but experienced collectors can actually tell. The rare penny has a richer, slightly deeper copper tone. If yours looks too shiny, it might just be a normal one, so don't get too excited yet. If you think you found the $1 million penny, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and give you the official value. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, digging through a jar of old coins. I spotted a 1994 penny, and I swear, my hands got sweaty. I pulled out my phone, checked everything I knew, and for a solid 5 minutes, I thought I was a millionaire. I rushed home, waited, tested the sound, everything. Then I noticed something. It had gum stuck to the back. Yeah, some old, crusty gum had added just enough weight to fool me. Talk about a heartbreak. But hey, lesson learned, always clean your finds before you celebrate. Okay, so if you do have the rare 1994 no-mint mark penny, what's next? Well, the most expensive one ever sold went for $1.6 million at auction. But even if yours isn't in perfect condition, it could still be worth hundreds of thousands. Coin collectors and auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers are always on the lookout for rare finds. If you think you have one, don't just sell it to your buddy for $5, get it appraised properly. Your loose change could be hiding a $1.6 million treasure. So, what are you waiting for? Go check your couch cushions, dig through that old piggy bank, and raid your grandpa's coin jar, with permission, of course. And if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got tons of videos coming up on coins that could change your life. Alright, folks, imagine this, you're digging through your couch cushions, maybe fishing for some spare change at the bottom of your car's cup holder, and boom! You pull out a penny. No big deal, right? But what if I told you that this tiny little coin, one you've probably flipped into a wishing fountain without a second thought, could be worth a mind-blowing $1.7 million? That's right, a single 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be the payday you never saw coming. Now, before you start tearing apart your furniture or interrogating your grandma about her coin jar, stick with me. In this video, we're diving deep into why this penny is so valuable, how you can spot one, and the jaw-dropping amount collectors are willing to pay for it. Plus, I've got a hilarious personal story about how I almost lost a valuable coin without even realizing it. So sit back, grab a handful of pennies, and let's get started. Okay, so first off, let's talk about what makes this 1968 penny so special. Normally, pennies from that time were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and they all had mint marks. A D4 Denver, and S4 San Francisco, and usually, Philadelphia coins had no mint mark. But here's where things get wild. Some of these pennies, specifically from the Philadelphia Mint, were struck with a rare error or a special variety that makes them worth an insane amount of money. Collectors absolutely love coins with rare errors, and this 1968 no mint mark penny has become the ultimate hidden treasure. It's like finding out your childhood Pokemon cards are worth thousands, except this is real money we're talking about. So, why would anyone in their right mind pay $1.7 million for a penny? Well, it comes down to rarity, condition, and collector demand. The 1968 no mint mark penny is super hard to find in high-grade condition. We're talking about a coin that has survived over 50 years without getting scratched, bent, or tossed into a Coinstar machine. If you happen to have one of these pennies, it's gotta be in near perfect shape to fetch top dollar. A coin graded MS67 or higher, which is basically a fancy way of saying it looks brand new, is what brings in those million-dollar price tags. Coin collectors love a good mystery, and the 1968 no mint mark penny is like the Bigfoot of pennies. People are constantly searching for them, and when one actually surfaces in pristine condition, it's a big deal. Alright, so here's the $1,000,000, literally, question: how do you know if you have the penny? Here's what to look for: if there's a small S or D under the date, it's not the rare one. But if it's completely blank, congrats, you might be holding gold, well, copper, technically. If your penny looks like it's been chewed on by a dog, run over by a car, or used as a makeshift screwdriver, it probably won't get that $1,000,000 price. The shinier, the better. Well, let me tell you a little story about how I almost threw away a valuable penny without realizing it. So, a few years ago, I was helping my dad clean out his old junk drawer. You know, the one filled with everything: random keys, expired coupons, batteries that may or may not work, and of course, a bunch of loose change. I was about to dump a handful of pennies into the coin jar when my dad says, "Wait, check those. Some old pennies are worth a ton of money." Now, at the time, I rolled my eyes and thought, yeah, right. But just to humor him, I took a quick glance. Lo and behold, I found a 1968 penny with no mint mark. I got so excited, I was already planning what I'd do with my $1,000,000 payout. First thing, upgrade from instant ramen to real food. The penny was too scratched up. In perfect condition, it could have been worth thousands, maybe even more, but mine looked like it had been through 5 lifetimes of bad luck. Moral of the story? Check your change carefully and keep your coins in good shape. Where to sell your 1968 no mint mark penny? Okay, so let's say you find one of these rare pennies, what do you do next? You've got a couple of options. Local coin shops and numismatic experts can give you a ballpark estimate of your penny's value. Sites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or Stacksbowers are where serious collectors are bidding big for rare finds. If you want to meet collectors face to face, coin shows are a great place to sell, and maybe even learn a thing or two. Your everyday pocket change could be hiding a small fortune. That humble little 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth $1.7 million. And the only thing standing between you and a life-changing payday is knowing what to look for. Next time you get a handful of pennies, don't just shove them into a piggy bank, or worse, drop them on the ground like spare trash. Take a second, check the date, and who knows? You might be sitting on a small copper goldmine. If you enjoyed this video and want more coin hunting tips, hidden treasures, and wild stories about valuable coins, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You never know, my next video might just help you find a rare coin worth millions. Alright, folks, today we're talking about a humble little penny that could change your life, literally. Imagine digging through your couch cushions, finding a penny, and then realizing it's worth a staggering $1.8 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, for some lucky collector out there, that dream became reality with the 1968 D Lincoln penny. And now, before you start frantically dumping out your piggy banks, let's dive into what makes this penny so special. I promise, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and why this coin is fetching insane money at auctions. Plus, I'll share a funny little story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin once. Talk about a close call, it's just a regular Lincoln cent, right? Wrong. While most 1968D pennies are only worth face value, there's a rare variety out there that collectors are willing to pay millions for. Some 1968D pennies were mistakenly struck without a mint mark, making them incredibly rare. The D stands for the Denver Mint, but if you find a 1968 penny missing that little D, you might be looking at a goldmine. Some of these pennies have unique minting errors like doubled die obverse, DDO, where Lincoln's profile or the lettering looks slightly doubled. If you spot this, hold on tight, it could mean serious money. Most pennies from 1968 have been through the ringer: laundry machines, sidewalks, and probably a few dogs' stomachs. But if you find one in uncirculated, mint condition, especially with a high-grade certification, it could be worth thousands or even millions. The rarer something is, the more collectors want it. That's exactly what's happening with the 1968D penny. Demand is soaring, and people are willing to pay top dollar for one in perfect condition. The record-breaking sale, $1.8 million penny. Now, let's talk about the big one, the 1968D penny that sold for a jaw-dropping $1.80 million. This particular penny had a rare error, was in near-perfect condition, and had a unique doubling effect that made it highly desirable among collectors. It was graded MS67RD, which means it had a stunning red color and barely any blemishes. The bidding war at the auction was intense, with collectors fighting tooth and nail to get their hands on it. And in the end, one lucky collector walked away with a piece of history, while the seller walked away with nearly $2 million. If you have a 1968 penny without a D, you might be holding something special. Use a magnifying glass and check for any doubling on Lincoln's face, the date, or the words "In God We Trust." If your penny looks shiny and almost brand new, it's time to get it professionally graded. The higher the grade, the more it's worth. Some rare errors include pennies struck on the wrong planchet, so weigh it to see if it's heavier or lighter than normal. If you think you've got a valuable penny, take it to a coin dealer or send it to PCGS or NGC for grading. Alright, story time. A few years ago, I was cleaning out an old drawer and found a bunch of random coins. Thinking nothing of it, I almost dumped them into a Coinstar machine at the grocery store. A shiny old penny that looked a little different. Instead of tossing it in, I decided to do a quick Google search. Turns out, it was a rare error coin worth $500. Now, imagine if that had been a 1968D penny worth $1.80 million. I would have cried myself to sleep for a week. Lesson learned, always check your change. So, there you have it. The 1968D Lincoln penny could be worth a life-changing amount of money, and it might be hiding in your spare change right now. If you've got a 1968D penny, take a close look. You never know, you might be sitting on a small fortune. And if you love learning about valuable coins and how to spot rare treasures in your pocket, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post regular updates on rare coins, money-making strategies, and hidden gems in everyday life. Plus, you never know when the next $1 million penny might pop up, so check your change, keep an eye out for errors, and who knows? You might just be the next lucky collector to cash in big.